Wow. Just wow. Who could have ever saw this coming? What we saw in the news yesterday. All this. Oh, you see all this stuff? All this. And this. And this. Same story, but it seems like every news station there is was talking about it yesterday, and they're still talking about it, and they all use the words like they're using words like bizarre and weird. Yeah. And I know, it could be, I'm not a radical, it could be just some, a few rebels in a bunch. I'm not gonna count the whole basket rotten just because of a few bad eggs, But with all the word we've read about this, and with what we've been seeing happening to that place over there and those people, we should understand completely what this means. This is more of Abba doing what he told us that he was going to do. More of him backing up what he says. He said he was going to expose their nakedness and their shame and make a spectacle out of them. Well, that's what you're getting. That's what you're seeing right now. And good riddance to bad rubbish. That's all I can say. Besides what the word has shown us about the imposter, about those who say they are Yahudim and do lie, besides all that, besides what he's told us he's going to do to them, how he's going to lift the skirt and show us their shame, the word's been telling us that Psalms 23, it's just like Mark 14. Psalms 23, it's what you have to do. It's the journey to life in short form. It's summed up, right? Well, and so just by reading Psalms 23, we should have a good understanding of what it is we have to do, right? And, I've been wanting to get Song of Songs, read it on here to y'all. Let me just read these first couple verses right here, and you'll see, there's a reason I've been saying that the Song of Songs is named precisely. It's the song of all songs. There ain't never been another song ever written more beautiful, more true. And there ain't no song that's ever been written that you need to hear more than this one. Listen to what it says right here in the last chapter, chapter 8, verse 1. Who would make you a brother to me? Who nursed at my mother's breast? Should I find you outside, I would kiss you. I would not be despised. I would lead you. I would bring you into the house of my mother. She who has taught me, I would give you spiced wine to drink of the juice of my pomegranate. His left hand is under my head, and his right hand embraces me. I have put you under oath, O daughters of Jerusalem. Do not stir up or awake love until it pleases. He says that repeatedly through the Song of Songs. Do not stir up love or awake love until it pleases. That's to let you know that this word about coming home, about the truth of your home, it wouldn't come out. We wouldn't be hearing it until the end. Now is when it pleases. Now is when the punishment's over. Now is when you can come home now, if you love your home. Because look, Who is this coming up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? Under the apple tree I awakened you. There your mother was in labor with you. There she was in labor, gave birth to you. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm. Sound familiar? For love is as strong as death, jealousy as cruel as Sheol. Its flames are flames of fire, a flame of Yah. Many waters are unable to extinguish love, and floods do not wash it away. If one would give all the wealth of his house for love, it would be utterly scorned. Now, you seen back up here, he said, I would lead you into the house of my mother. The house of our mother, the reason they use Mother Earth, it's a mockery. Our mother is our inherited land, Yerushalayim. He would lead you into the house of Yerushalayim, of the Most High. We're going to read this, and you need to open your ears. Turn your ears on, open your eyes, take what this book has to tell you as not only an invite to the wedding feast, to the house, but it's a whistling for those who are members of the family. The Most High is whistling. He's telling you to come back home. And that's why Psalms 23, it's what you have to do summed up, best summed up. And it's why it was on that wall in I Pet Goat 2. It's, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. You've got nothing to fear except fear itself, but don't let that stop you. You need to get home. After this intermediate break, we're going to come back and we're going to get it. Make sure you have your pen and paper. Make sure your ears are turned on.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying to chalk.
Isn't it amazing how Abba, he can sneak his sense of humor in even the darkest of places and times. There's a guy that I've been subbed to for years. Like, he was one of the first channels I subscribed to back in like 2010 or something, 2010. His name's Montygraph, and he's the reason I always say take you out, but not to lunch or to dinner. You know, I got that from him. But the last week or so, that guy, he's been like Marfugel. He's been going nuts, actually. I mean, you would think he is. I mean, just a face value, you would think this guy's going nuts. Because, I mean, he usually ain't talking about the stuff he's talking about, but he's coming around to the realization of what's going on. The only thing is he's missing a few key components of it. And I've tried to comment just to try to talk to him, but I mean, he's busy. He don't see what I'm saying. I guess he ain't seen my comments or whatever. I honestly think my comments get removed for the most part, but he's talking about the tree of life right now. And he hasn't made the connection to it and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And when I say the tree of life, I'm not talking about the one in the Bible. I'm talking about the Kabbalah tree. Those guys we just were looking at that were found in that hole, the thing that they teach, they call it the Kabbalah, the tree of life, the Kabbalah tree. It's actually the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's the tree of death, not of life. And he's seeing a lot of truth surrounding that thing, but he's not making the connection. He don't, and I'm praying, and I ask that you pray for him too, that he gets to the truth of it before it's too late. And right here, verse 5 is key to understanding why it is I found this truth. One of the first things that the Most High showed me, and not just, I've been reading the Bible my whole life. I've been taught by preachers. I've been in and out of churches. I've been offered to pastor churches and stuff. And I've learned throughout the whole time. Hallelujah, he's been teaching me my whole life. But one of the first things he taught me that was groundbreaking, it was revolutionizing, that got me to the point that I'm at today, to understand what the wedding is, to understand who the image of the beast is, all these things, was the truth of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and what it really represented. The day I started to see that it wasn't an actual fruit or an apple, it's a doctrine, it's a way of life. It's okay, the word is known as the bread, like at Passover. The Messiah said, take this bread, it's my body, eat. And he was talking about the word, the bread from heaven. It's the word, it's the truth. How when I started to see that it wasn't a literal tree or a literal fruit, that it was a way, it's a doctrine. It's we use the lamp, the word, as a lamp to our feet. The enemy, the Kabbalah, they use the tree of the knowledge of good and evil as their lamp to their feet. That's why if you ever see a hermit card, he holds the lamp that has the 6-pointed star inside that lamp. And that 6-pointed star represents the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's the combination of divine and human. So I need you to understand why it was that's not the beginning of my journey. Obviously my journey started in the womb or even before that, right? Just like everybody's. But the reason it was the start to the journey, the day of my awakening, when I realized that it wasn't a literal fruit and a literal tree. When I started to realize that, and I started to dig deep into that is how I came to the truth of the image of the beast, and to our true home, and the truth of it all, what Passover means, all these things. That's why it says right here, it says, leaning upon her beloved, under the apple tree I awakened you. The apple tree. He's talking about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil right here. Because you have to come to that truth before you can see who the image of the beast is and what it is you must do. You ain't gonna see it until you come to the truth of what the tree in the garden was. What brought about the curse. It's it's called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's not the tree of good and evil. It's the tree of knowing the difference between good and evil. Knowing what's best, what's right. If you think, like Adam and Eve were just born, how could they know the difference between good and evil? They had to take it from the chief, who is the author of everything, to tell us what to do and what not to do. That's why the serpent in the garden said, you will not surely die. When Eve, Hawa said, we will die, the Creator told us not to eat it because as soon as we do, we surely will die. The serpent said, you will not surely die. As soon as you eat it, your eyes will become open and you will be like the Most High. You'll know what's best. You'll know if you're naked or not. Does a deer know he's naked? If you go up and say, hey, buck, tap on his shoulder and say, you might want to put some underwear on, buddy. You're You're just hanging out here today. What's going on? He ain't going to know what you're talking about. He don't understand that. Because he's not trying to eat from that tree. He's a deer. He knows that the Most High knows what's best. He knows that the Most High will bring the grass up in its time so he can eat and graze in that pasture and, and live, sleep here and do this and do that. He knows that. And that's all he needs to know. He don't need to know whether or not he needs underwear on. You see? That's what that tree represents. That's what the tree is. And that goes back to him giving you free will. Because look, if it was, he gave us the choice. That's why he pointed it out to Adam and Eve. He said, you can eat from any tree you want to in the garden. But that tree, don't eat it, because as soon as you do, you surely will die. It was planted there for a reason. Because if it wouldn't have been, we wouldn't have free will. If he would have said, everything here that you want to do and eat is good, and there is no bad, well, then we would have never had a choice. That's the whole reason for this whole mission, for the journey of all mankind. It is, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to trust in your Creator, who knows best, and just leave it up to him, just do as he says, love and live? Or are you going to choose and pretend to be someone that you're not and act like you can know the difference between good and evil when you can't? He awakened me under that apple tree. And that flag on those people over there, those people who were found in that tunnel, that's what that represents. This is all about choice. You either choose to be a part of the family, come home and live, or you die. There she was, or there your mother was in labor with you. There she was in labor and gave birth to you. And I can speak only for myself, but this is true. That's speaking directly about what I've done too. I mean, and maybe other people, but I know for me, that's what happened to me. He awakened me when he showed me what that tree was. And now, looking back, I realized that in that awakening was Yerushalayim, my home, given birth to me. Because from there, I started to see the truth of it all, and it brought me home. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm. And see, I'm not lying when I tell you that this is the greatest song ever written, and it's going to tell you everything you need to know. If you're truly looking, if you're truly hungry and thirsty, you're going to see everything you need to know. This is referencing the mark of the beast. If whenever you see the Most High seal, he never says on your arm, he says on your forehead. But on the mark of when he talks about the mark of the beast, he says it's on your forehead and your arm. And your arm represents what you'll do, what you do, your living, what you'll do. The majority of the world, they only do what will profit them in one way or the other. They're only going to do what they do is based upon what they're making, what they're not making. It's got something to do with what kind of car am I driving? What kind of house am I living in? What kind of wife or husband do I have? It's all based upon profit and luxury and convenience. That's why he says, set me as a seal upon your arm, upon your heart, because if what you're doing is based on being a son or a daughter of the Most High, and you don't care about the prophet, you don't care about the Benjamin's baby, you can give to Caesar what's Caesar's, because you don't care about none of that stuff. Your work is for the kingdom. So set his seal upon your heart and your arm, not for a profit, but for life, for love, for the family, for your friends, for your Father, your Creator, the Most High, the Messiah, your brothers, your sisters, your family, your mishpachah, your blood. For love is as strong as death, jealousy as cruel as Sheol. Its flames are flames of fire, a flame of Yah. And who you think fans the flame? He fans that flame. But if you don't have the love for everything I just mentioned, your home, your inherited land, your father who gave you the inherited land, your brother, your sister, your wife, your whatever, your family, if you don't have enough love to where it's like, if you want to come between me and all that, you're going to have to kill me. That's what he's talking about when he says love is as strong as death. You have to be willing to die for this. And I'm not saying you'll have to die, but that has to be your mindset. You have to have the mindset of, you're going to have to kill me to keep me from going home to my family. And that's how it should be for everyone. Like, if you're a father and you got a wife at home and 3 kids, wouldn't it be that someone would have to kill you to keep you from protecting, to keep you from being there with your family, right? That's how it that's how it goes. Well, this is the everlasting family. So you have to be willing to lay down your life. That's why Messiah died. That's why the blood goes on the doorpost. That's how the blood of the Lamb washes you, because the Lamb represents your journey back to the house, through the door. Many waters are unable to extinguish love. Waters. Water is the truth when it comes from heaven, when it comes from Abba. But the enemy, because of Abba, he uses flood waters to flood. He tells you what you think is the truth, but it's not the truth. But he flooded the truth of our home with those waters. That's why it says many waters are unable to extinguish love. I love Jerusalem. I want my inherited land. I want to live with my Abba. I don't want to be denied, and I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be denied. I'm going to give it my life. And I don't care what kind of lies or how many of them has been dished out to me to cover up this place. I'm going to dig through them. I'm going to swim through those waters to find the truth. And floods do not wash it away. If one would give all the wealth of his house for love, it would be utterly scorned. Utterly scorned. And you can bet your ass that it is going to be utterly scorned, that the world is going to laugh and mock you. It's going to laugh at you. If you would give all your wealth so you can come home and be in Jerusalem, the world's going to mock and laugh. They might try to imprison you, take your kids, whatever. It's going to be scorned. We have a little sister and she has no breast. What do we do for our sister in the day when she is spoken for? If she is a wall, we build upon her a battlement of silver. And if she is a door, we would enclose her with boards of cedar. This is all referencing what you got to do. The wall. We've learned when we went through Ezekiel, we learned that the sons of the foreigner, of the Kasdim, of the Chaldeans, the sons of Babylon, these holidays, these false deities, these false gods like Zeus and all this stuff, Santa Claus, they have made a wall in between the people and the Most High. Until you get rid of those, that wall isn't going to go anywhere. You can't see the house. Then, once you put those down, then you got to come to Abba's house, and he has a wall around his house too, and that's the Torah. Unless you acknowledge the Torah and start living and having a desire to follow his instructions because he's dad and he knows best, and you want to do what everyone else in the family's doing, and you want to do what he told you to do, until you do that, you can't come to his wall. So there's 2 walls that you got to get through to even enter the house. You got to put down the sons of the Chaldeans, the Kasdim of Babylon, and you got to pick up the Torah. You got to desire to do the Torah, be doers of the word. That's what he's getting at right here. I am a wall, and my breasts like towers. So I became in his eyes as one who found peace. As one who found peace. And right now in this time, I found peace. But right now in this time, I'm not going to tell you that it's not going to be hard. It is going to be hard. That's the point of it. That is what I'm telling you. You got to give your life. Even when you get here, if you have it within you to start to love and be willing to give your life for all this, to save your life, if you do that and you come home, don't think that just because as soon as you get here that it's just going to be it's going to be a lot easier than what it was before. Abba's going to be making a way for you. You got to put one foot in front of the other. But until the final hour, final minute of this time is over, you're going to have to give up. You're going to have to make sacrifices every day, just like Messiah did. He had to go and get hung upon the tree. So it's not going to be over until it's all over. But if you ain't in the spot and doing what I just been describing here to you, you're not even going to be in the spot. So you got to be willing to give it all up to get to the spot, to do what your daddy told you, and you got to be willing to lay your life down. So even when you get here, you still might have to lay your life down. But don't let that fool you, because if you do, don't let that scare you, because if you do that, you're going to be rewarded beyond your imagination. So, but I have found peace in all that. Like I've been saying, like I know now. I know what my future holds. I know what I must do in order. I know how to obtain everlasting life now. It's not a guess anymore. It's a for sure thing. Solomon had a vineyard in Baal Hamon. He let out the vineyard to keepers. Each one was to bring for its fruit 1,000 pieces of silver. There's that silver again. My own vineyard is before me. O Solomon, 1,000 belongs to you, and 200 to those who keep its fruit. You who sit in the gardens, the companions listen for your voice. Let me hear it. I'm sitting in the gardens right now. And that's just more proof as to why I have to keep getting on here and proclaiming this mighty, magnificent news. Lutton, sharing and rejoicing over all those magnificent moves that the Most High has that are second to none. And sharing this good news with my brothers and my sisters because I love you and out of hope that you come home and you be a part of the family. And don't procrastinate. Don't hesitate. You need to hurry, my beloved, and be like a gazelle. There's that gazelle, that deer, or a young stag on the mountains of spices. Don't wait. Get in that car today. Let's get chapter 1, and we'll get some more of the Song of Songs. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's, and I wanna stop there and let you dwell on this and consider this. The Freemasons and all the like, all those groups of people, of men, even women. You got the Eastern, the Women of the Eastern Star. That's like the women's version of the Freemasonry. You got Rosicrucians. And they're all Knights Templars, and it goes back to the Knights Templars, and there's still Knights Templars, and there's Order of the Golden Dawn. There's all kinds of those guys, but they all have the same mission. They call it the Great Work. And it all has something to do with Solomon's temple. Have you ever wondered why that is? Because they are the enemy, okay? But they are in Abba's hands. He uses them to destroy. It's a threshing. That's why he says that the house of the thief will be a threshing in the time of the end. Because there has to be a choice, just like in the garden. It's just like him looking at you right now saying, yeah, there's that fake Holy Land, and you can build your house over here and do that if but you'll die, but you got to come home. If you want to be a part of the family and live in the home, you have to come home. So don't mess with none of that over there. Come over here and you'll live. They believe that I honestly don't think they don't plan on building a Solomon's temple. They don't plan on that. This is about them becoming like God. That's what the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is all about. That's what the Kabbalah tree is about. That's why in their little temples or whatever, they got the black and white checkered floor. They got the square and the compass, because they believe that they're going to carve out for themselves the stairway to heaven, their own way to divinity. They believe that they are gods, right? And they don't need to take orders from the Most High. So when they say that the great work is Solomon's temple, they believe that they can do that they can make their own way. And that just like the serpent told Eve in the garden, they believe they can be like the Most High. That's what the Kabbalah tree teaches you. Go look it up. I've broke it down on here several times and on All Esteem. So go look it up. You'll see. And that's what that star on Israel's flag represents. It's as above, so below. It's the combining of God, of divinity and man, and up and down, light and dark, good and evil. That's what it represents. It's on their tree. It's the middle part of the tree that connects the roots to the part where the fruit is, the top of the tree. So they believe that star is telling you, we believe we can become like God, like the Most High. That's what it's telling you. And anyone who thinks that and lives that way is going to die. You just got to do what you're told. Come home. Just like Messiah. Messiah asked the Most High, he said, take this cup from me. If there's any way. Did the Most High say, yeah, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't go die. No, you have to come home, and you have to be willing to die for it. He didn't say that you have to die for it. He said, and it's common sense. Like if you say you love your family, but at the first sign of terror, you take off and leave them sitting there to fend for themselves, you didn't love your family. You might have thought you did. You told everyone you did. But if you weren't willing to lay down your life to protect them, for them, you've been blowing smoke up everyone's rear end. That's all that was. You ain't loved no one. You have to be willing to give it everything. And what they're doing is they are creating a way of life for the world that you don't have to do that. They have everyone convinced that you don't have to. You can just say some words, or you can try to be the best person you can be. But to give up your life is out of the question. That's that temple that they're trying to build, and they've done a good job at building it because the whole world is mesmerized by it. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your carnal love are better than wine. For fragrance, your oils are good. Your name is oil poured forth, Yerushalayim. Therefore the young women love you. Draw me, we run after you. The sovereign has brought me into his inner rooms. Hallelujah. We exalt and rejoice in you. We praise your carnal love more than wine. Rightly do they love you. And the carnal love, that's a physical, a real, tangible thing. The reason he's saying we exalt, we praise your carnal love, because that's the Passover. That's actually coming. The enemy has convinced the world that you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to have a home. You don't have to. Just repeat after me. Do you accept Jesus into your heart to be your personal Lord and Savior? That's what they've created. And that's nonsense. That's rubbish. Or they've created, are you a good boy? If you're a good boy and you've done just what you're supposed to do, then you can find divinity and be your own God. You see, it's all lies. If you want to, if you're a husband, the only way to have your wife and your children in set apart matrimony, you got to be there. You got to be the dad, the husband, the wife, the brother, the sister, the daughter, the son. You have to be there if you want that. That's that carnal love. You got to come. That's why he says, draw me. We run after you, after Jerusalem, after our inherited land, after our family, after our Messiah, after our Father. Rightly do they love you. Rightly. I am dark, but lovely. O daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. And what he means by dark, the world thinks he's talking about the color of his skin, and he's not. I assure you. The reason he says tents and curtains, he's talking about hidden. It's hidden. You're not just going to go out and say, where's the real Jerusalem? And someone's going to say, oh, I know. It's right over here. Nope. You ain't never going to find it like that. You got to hunger and thirst for it. You got to be digging for it, because it's in dark. It's been hidden. It's in a dark place. You got to find it. Do not look upon me because I am dark, because the sun has tanned me. My mother's sons were displeased with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. My own vineyard I have not kept. And the sun has tanned. That's why that goes back to in Revelation, like in Revelations, where he says there'll be no need of the sun or the moon or the stars. Make known to me, O you whom my being loves, where you feed your flock. Do you see? That's what he's talking about. You got to be reading the word so much that you see instantly that he ain't being literal. He ain't talking about the color of his skin. He ain't talking about none of that. All this is metaphors. It's figures of speech. That's why he says, make known to me, O you whom my being loves, where you feed your flock. The reason I've been getting this word is because I'm at that spot where he feeds his flock, and he's feeding me, and I'm trying to pass it along to you. Where you make it rest at noon, at 12, just like we just saw Ringo, right? And don't hate on me for having a sense of humor and trying to get you guys to turn those frowns upside down and to come home. I love you, and whatever I can do, I'll lay down my life for you. For why should I be as one who is veiled beside the flocks of your companions? There you go. Why? That's what the veil represents. It's hidden, your land. The Most High hid it. Because our fathers, our ancestors were doing nasty things like these people do today. Like what could have been going on down them tunnels. I mean, I don't know. They found a bunch of high chairs and stuff down there and old soiled, nasty mattresses and stuff. I mean, who knows what they were doing down there. But, there has to be a place that those millions and millions of missing children go to every year. You know, every year we have millions of missing children. Yeah, they got to be going somewhere. For why should I be as one who is veiled beside the flocks of your companions? If you do not know, O beautiful among women, go in the footsteps of the flock. Bingo. Go do like Moses and Aaron and whoever followed. Caleb and them did. Do like Messiah did. Do like Abraham and Sarah did. Look to Abraham. And that's the only way to life right now. The only way to life before was you have to be a part of the family. You know what I mean? Like if a family brings a foreign exchange student to their house, you know, and he ends up being some psychotic serial killer and don't come home, they're not going to sit and cry over him, you know. But if he's a good person, he lives with them and they end up sharing life experience with them and they grow to love one another. Eventually he's family. Now they would cry if he's gone, right? It's just common sense. Those people walked through the wilderness. They gave their life up to come home. But what they actually were doing, they were gaining their life. They were gaining it. That foreign exchange student, he could have it made if he would stay with that family and be a part of the family. But if he wants to go and do stupid shit, I mean, he's going to lose out, right? So you have to be a part of the family. You have to follow the flock and do just like they did. Feed your little goats beside the shepherd's dwellings. I have compared you, my love, to my filly among Pharaoh's chariots. Your cheeks are pretty with ornaments, your neck with strings of beads. And let me tell you, she's all that and a bag of chips. She's so beautiful here. There's nothing like it. This is the only place anyone should want to be. And when you realize it's rich history and you realize who's been here, what's been going on, it's all you want. And you realize that this is your throne, this is your kingdom. You're going to rule and reign now. It's beyond marvelous in your eyes. Let us make your ornaments of gold with studs of silver. There you go, your ornaments. Coming here, laying your life down, refining, coming home, being a part of the family. That's those gold ornaments of gold with studs of silver. That's what that means. That's why it says that the enemy has the carved image is plated in gold and silver. You see, it's what is it worth to you? How bad do you want it? While the sovereign is at his table, my nard shall give its fragrance. My beloved is a bundle of myrrh to me, lying between my breast. My beloved is to me a cluster of henna blooms in the vineyards of En-Gedi. See, you are beautiful, my love. See, you are beautiful. Your eyes are as doves. Your eyes are as doves. That's me. I've been a dove, singing, peering through the lattice, looking, and singing back to you guys as doves. And my wings are dipped in yellow gold. See, you are handsome, my beloved. Yes, pleasant. Also, our bed is green. The beams of our houses are cedar. Our rafters are of fir. I'm going to leave you with that. The only place those things grow are right here for the most part. And we are trees planted. That's what that's getting at. We're planted by streams of water, just like on Psalms 23. He'll lead you and he'll plant you. And I'm going to leave you with Thundera. And I want you to pay attention to it. The thunder represents the throne. And it's an era. We are living in the era of coming home to your throne. We're in an era of shouting from the mountaintops, from the chandeliers, from the firmament. That same message. So that's the thunder and the lightning. We're living in that era. we're living in the era where you're going to have to give it all you got. If you want to be a part of the family, you're going to have to be all in.